just to clarify something from my last production that I did pertaining to the physical altercation that took place between Tommy Sotomayor and Shay Means. That video that I made actually came out backwards. And I recorded it from my phone. As you all should know, I'm using the Record Master app. And for whatever reason, I've noticed this with cell phones, is when you record a video that exceeds 30 minutes, for whatever reason, it decides to start chopping the video up in smaller pieces. So after I was done recording that video, I noticed that the video was in two separate pieces, and I decided to merge them together to make it into one video, which is what it should initially have been. But for whatever reason, I must have not been paying attention, and the video got pieced together backwards, meaning the front end, which should have been in the beginning of the video, is at the back end, and the ending of the video is toward the front end. I think most of you already know that. I've noticed this a couple of days afterward. I was thinking about re-uploading the video in the correct formation, but I decided, you know what, let me just leave it alone. I think most of you already get the point. Now, I'm actually outside, so if you hear noise in the background, that's what you're listening to, or that's the sound that you're hearing. And what we're looking at is my home screen, or my Google screen, I should say. There's a reason why I have your attention focused over here. I'm going to try to get back into making more productions this year. I know I really have been on a very long hiatus. I'm going to try to break that. It's just a matter of finding time to do so. God damn it, these fucking flies out here. Let me let this helicopter pass by, because there's too much damn noise. I got flies around here, and people want to start walking past you all of a sudden. But what I'm gonna do, ducks are making noise, Jesus Christ. I'm currently sitting out, I don't know if this is Sunset Park, Oceanside Park, whatever it is, some park out here in Brooklyn. I'm not familiar with Brooklyn, but I just so happen to be out here for the day, so I decided to come out here and make a video. So this is the noise you're hearing in the background. But my next couple of productions that I'm gonna do, and I figured it'd be about 2, but now it might actually go on further. I would say maybe 3 or 4. It's goddamn Jesus Christ. Okay. I believe I got that out of the way now. That damn thing passed by. But the next up and coming productions, I want to deal with these divestment, BWE, aka Black Women's Empowerment Groups, these, well, I'm not going to really say too much, maybe swirlers to a degree, but particularly the Black Women Empowerment Group, the hashtag Divestment Group. I'm going to thoroughly deal with the mind state of many of these females, and I guess you can say this can start with this production that I'm doing right here. Because for the longest now, they have been sitting around reciting these stats about the murder rates, the death rates, the killings of black women and girls every, I believe, somewhere around 4 to 6 hours. You have this effeminate Negro that goes by the name of Taz Exclusives, or the GOAT, and that stands for the greatest of all time. What the fuck makes this nigga great? I don't really know. This is an effeminate beta male, if you ask me. But this is literally what we're dealing with, who happens to align himself with these talking points. And listen, I don't have a problem if a black man is genuinely concerned with the safety of black women and girls. But when you have a Negro sit out here and use the term hashtag divesting, because now he wants to divest from black men, just like the rest of these so-called wannabe divestors. That just speaks volumes, but I'm not going to deal with that in this production here. I'm going to address that later on in future productions. Like I said, I'm going to address this in full detail, and I'm going to really break down the mindset of what it is that we're dealing with. So we're listening to the talking points of black women and girls being murdered. once every 4 to 6 hours per day. So I put this into the Google search engine. How often are black women killed? I think that should cover a broad range and pretty much solidify that they, as far as being killed, we know there should be a suspect, or there has to be a suspect. So I put this in the search engine, and we're going to see a couple of these articles come up. The most recent is, well, this is October 6, 2021. This is just a few months ago. This is from last year. October 7th, 2021. That's just a day afterward. Another one, October 7th. Okay, so this is from The Hill. This is from BET.com. And this is from The Guardian. So these are the sources. WashingtonInformer.com. So this is another one from October 7, 2021, last year. And I believe, okay, there's another one. And this is from October 9th of last year, 2021. So let's just briefly go into this one here. This is from The Guardian. Let me get rid of this. I'm going to briefly just go through maybe the first paragraph. At least 4 black women and girls were murdered per day in the United States last year. As homicide surged across the U.S. last year, the number of black females killed increased sharply as well. At least 4 black women and girls were murdered per day in the United States in 2020, according to statistics released by the FBI last week, a sharp increase compared with the year before. The FBI recorded at least 405 additional murders of black women and girls last year as homicides surged across the country. And experts caution that even that stark number probably represents an undercount. Let's see, the female victims. I'm not going to go into that. So what I'm looking for right now is I want to know who is the suspects, who is committing these murders. So this must be a black woman that found herself becoming the unfortunate victim. Soraya Jade, if I'm saying it right. Soraya Jade Redmond, 19, was killed in September in California. Okay, so let's briefly read through this paragraph. Soraya Jade was sitting in a Sacramento, California apartment with friends when someone started shooting through the window and walls. She tried to dodge the bullets, but was hit and later died in a hospital. Okay, so somebody started shooting through the walls. All right, nobody knows who this was, so we don't actually have a suspect. And I find that to be ironic, but you see, here's the thing. Oh, you know what? Let me just go through this a little bit further. Now, I'm not going to read through the entire thing. Since her parents' death and siblings have fought to keep. All right, I'm not going to go through all this. You can read through it if you want to. I'm just going to look at the most important things. Okay, let me go through this. More vulnerable to violence. The increase in murder of black women comes as the overall U.S. murder rate rose nearly 30% during the pandemic, the biggest jump in 6 decades. The number of people murdered increased sharply across the racial groups and in cities big and small. Most of America's homicide victims remain men. Okay, men. And black men and boys continue to face the highest overall risk of homicides, with at least 2,400 additional men and boys killed in 2020 compared with 2019, according to homicide data reporting to the FBI. All right, so that right there is still. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but y'all can look at this for yourself. All right. So black men and boys still face the highest rates of violence. And this was from The Guardian. That was the first one I went through. The next one, this is from BET, and it pretty much says the same shit. Black girls and women black girls and women killed at rates of 4 per day in 2020. BET. BET.com. Okay, why is it not loading up? Oh, there it goes. The FBI and CDC found that black girls and women were most often killed amongst female demographics, last year. What the fuck is this? Come on, get out of here. But once again, what I'm trying to find out is who are the suspects. So it pretty much is saying the same thing. Same thing as I seen in the last post that I just looked at. Now, what I want you to notice, because I don't think I'm gonna waste my time going through all this. This is femicide stuff or whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna read through all that. Y'all can pause it and read through it if you want to. You see the sources where I got it from. You can go ahead and look it up. Let me back out. But what I want people to pay attention to is how close these articles are at the time frame when these were actually produced. So let me go back into that for a second. This one was done as soon as it loads up. Okay, get out of here. October 7th of 2021. That was last year. That's just a few months ago. The first one was done in October 6th. Let's just go ahead and just highlight the dates because I want people to see this. Clear that out. So this is October 6th. So this is a day apart where they're producing these articles. And this is something else that I found to be very common whenever I look up stats pertaining to black people. Again, another article, October 7th. All right, this is from The Hill. I'm not going to read anything. I'm just going to let y'all see it. October 7th. You ever start to wonder why all of this stuff pertaining to black people shows up? Another one. That's the third or fourth one already I went through so far. WashingtonInformer.com. Let's go down. Okay, this is another one, October 9th. Well, that's like the 5th or 6th article I already went through already. And these are just within a few days of each other. So I'm not going to go into that. This is 2017. Okay, let's go into this one here. She spent years tracking the killings of black women and girls. Now she's planning a DC march. But who are the suspects? That's what I want to know. Particularly, this is most important. Who are the damn suspects? And it's a terrible thing whenever somebody gets killed. This should never happen. But what I'm noticing, a common denominator, they're not talking about who the suspects are. All this noise about black women and girls being murdered. But who are the suspects? So, all right. I don't think I got to go through any more of that. Here's what I want to do, though. So you see what I put in there. How often are black women killed in the United States per day? So let's try something a little different. This is what's going to start to get you to think. All right. Let's switch up the race of people. Let's put this down and see what comes up. All right, so you see what I put in the search engine, right? This is what's in there. And what we are going to look at. Let me let this guy pass by next to me when I'm trying to make a recording. Okay, so he's gone. How often are white women killed? All right. Now, I put in something specific in the search engine. Notice what's coming up. Violence against women in the United States. Statistics. The last time I visited this, okay, I don't care about the last time I visited this. I want to see when this was posted. I don't need a PDF version of this. So this is getting data from back from 2005. We're talking about what, 17 years ago. So what I would like to see is, when was this article produced? If that's possible. All right, so take a look at this. Female victims of violence, Bureau of Justice Statistics. Between 1993 and 2007. Now, once again, I put a specific question in the search engine, and well, I'm not going to download anything, so let me cancel that. And notice what comes up. I can't find what it is of what I'm looking for. Does this not seem just a little bit strange to you? The Guardian, the same one that I was on just a little while ago. September 26, 2021, femicide in the U.S. The silent epidemic few dare to name. Okay, but once again, I didn't ask about femicide. I'm asking for something specific. How often are white women and girls killed in the U.S. per day? But notice it doesn't say anything particularly about white women and girls. It just says femicide. It just says women. But whenever you put in something pertaining to black women or black people, you can get stuff that pops up that just came up just last week. Updated last week. Something from a few months ago. But when you're looking for something particularly for other groups of people, you don't find the same thing. Why is that? Okay, this is the same thing I was just looking at. This is about black women. However, that's not in the search engine. I didn't put that in there. But this is what it's showcasing. Murder in the U.S. Murder in the U.S. Victims by race, ethnicity, and gender 2020. Let's take a look at this. Now, once again, oh shit. Well, I'm not gonna allow any cookies on my. So what I'm gonna do, y'all see the y'all pretty much see the. You can type it in and take a look at it for yourself. But just notice how there's nothing in there pertaining to white women. So it's the same question, but just a different race of women. Now let's try something a little different here. Let's make it Asian women. They just passed that anti-Asian hate crime bill just a little less than a year ago. So something should come up now, shouldn't it? Okay, this is that shooting that took place in Atlanta. What was it, last year? Atlanta shooting, Asian women amongst 8 killed at the spot. No, so that's not what I'm looking for. Nope. So there's nothing that tells you how often white women are killed, or how many white women are killed per day, or how many are killed in every 6 hours. There's nothing that actually showcases this. Nothing pertaining to Asian women. So that's 2 different races I wouldn't have looked up. Okay, so we see that. Let me see something. This is from 1980 to 2008. Homicide trends in the United States. But this is not what I'm asking for. Okay. And this is about the Atlanta shooting. Okay, so notice how when it comes down to black people, there are specific statistics that you can find only amongst black people. And it's something I've tried to get black people to really wake up and realize. Okay, let's put that in there. Hispanic women. Once again, number of women murdered by men in the U.S. It doesn't even say Hispanic women. It just says women. So I'm gonna back out of that because I'm not accepting any cookies. So I just want y'all to be able to take a look at stuff like this. This is literally what we're dealing with. And I say that to state that You don't find it just a little bit odd how whenever it comes down to finding some negative statistics about black people, bam, without you even having to type it up, something immediately comes up and you can find it from less than a year ago. But when you try to find some negative statistics pertaining to white people, you can't find it. But when it's black people, yeah, you can find, not only can you find it immediately, it shows up without you even having to look, but you can also find it in abundance. You don't find that just a little strange? How all of these articles come up just a few days apart from each other. Many of them done on the same damn day. All right. And yet this is what they're using. But you can't find nothing in the same formation when it comes down to white people, when it comes down to Asians, despite the fact that Joe Biden just passed an anti-Asian hate crime bill less than a year ago because they were being attacked and all this other crazy shit. So surely, if they should have anything for anybody, it should be the Asian community, but you don't find it. You don't find this just a little strange? When you look up the Hispanic community, Hispanic women, nothing comes up. The only thing that you see when it comes down to these other races of people, well, with the Asians, you just hear about that shooting that took place to 8 of them who ended up dead in Atlanta last year. But anything else is all femicide. There's nothing that's specifically catered or geared toward Hispanic, Asian, or white women. Do you not find this just a little bit strange? See, because this is what these goddamn divestors and these BWE content creators want to push the narrative of, is that, well, we're victimized and you're the ones who are victimizing us, but yet you can't even find a single fucking suspect within not a single one of these sources that I have just showcased to you. I mean, if y'all can find this, please feel free to leave the link in the description box. Y'all all know me. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and I'll retract what I'm stating. But I've noticed this time and time again where you get the usual suspects who will get out here and love to perpetuate themselves as being professional victims by black men. Now, let me go ahead and deal with this. I don't know why the hell it just did this shit, this retarded ass goddamn phone. Let's just keep it here for a second. Because what we are looking at as a clown is one of the biggest culprits who sit up here and talk this stupid shit. This is a YouTuber that goes by the name of Chris Logic. I've caught wind of her recently. I don't listen to what they say. I typically get my information off of other channels that typically go in on these goddamn buffoons. So there was a channel, I can't think of, was it DOB or something like that? I can't think of the, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. But some of these brothers go in on these females quite often. Now, this man stated how he was watching a live stream and actually screen recorded the live stream. And throughout the live stream, he mentioned how he was trying to get on to Chris Logic's live stream. Now here you had Woman's Fear, Chris Logic, and I think 2 other females on this live stream. Now, here's one of the things I keep telling you black men, is to stop finding yourselves going on to these goddamn live streams. Let me just see how many minutes I'm into this. Okay, 23 minutes. You Negroes need to stop finding yourselves trying to get onto these live streams so you can debate with one of these crazy ass fucking females. I don't understand to this day why you Negroes still continue to get your black ass and try to get on the live stream. And then some of y'all are so surprised when they would rather let white guys onto that live stream before they let your black ass go up there and talk. Why would you find yourself there in the first place? You will never, and nor have you ever, seen me calling into any of the live streams of these females. I'm not wasting my time doing it. It's a complete waste of goddamn time. Now, I'm not saying don't critique them. If you're going to critique them, go to your channel and host your own damn live stream and do it there. This is one of the biggest things I try to explain about black. Let me get that out of the way. I try to explain to black men is start learning how to be more territorial. Because when you go into and some of y'all are so stupid, y'all will literally be super chatting these bitches so you can call in and have a chance to be able to speak on their damn live stream. So when you super chat somebody, you're essentially paying them just so you can have the time to be able to speak. And once again, let me calm down for a second, because I don't understand what the hell is up with you black men doing this shit. Not only are you calling and trying to get into their personal spaces to get their attention, but you're also patronizing this very same group of insane, delusional females. There's literally nothing logical to have a discussion. I mean, the fact that this female even uses that, first of all, the logic and common sense, you could attribute that to me. I've been using that shit since 2011. Over 10, 11 years, I've been saying that. So when I find you goofy ass Negroes that get online and start talking about your logic, I mean, y'all are fucking up the goddamn word. You're completely misusing it. I mean, this is the same group of females who refer to black women who support black men as mammies. I want you to think about that for a second. Even though the word has a historical meaning. Now, if you want to refer to black women who choose to be with black men, if you want to call them pygmies, okay, I could get with that. If you want to call them anything else that doesn't already have a predetermined meaning, then I can get with that. But when you start using a word that has a historical meaning, which actually fits who y'all are, and I'm talking about you wannabe divestors, you goofy ass BWE content creators, and you get up here and y'all say that dumb shit, but y'all want to talk about how black men are conquered, but right there you showcase just how stupid the majority of y'all really are. But anyhow, listening to some of what was going on in this live stream, I'm not going to be too much longer. I'll probably be another 5, maybe 10 minutes. You had another Negro who called in and was stating how he could be an ally to the divestors, to the BWE content creators. And according to what they were saying is that, well, in order to be an ally to us, you can leave us alone, that's number one. Get out of our space and stop having anything to do with divestors. And furthermore, you can pretty much send us your donations. I want y'all to think about that for a second. Furthermore, you had Woman's Fear chime in to say pretty much the same goddamn shit. Pretty much all the treachery that the black man has committed. There's so much karma that you really owe black women. All the harm and all the fucked up shit you've done to black men, you owe us, and you can start by repaying us with your finances. I want you to understand, just let that shit marinate in your psyche. Because for the longest, these retarded bitches have been sitting around talking about how black men are conquered, how we're dusties, we don't own anything, we don't run nothing, how black women are literally holding down the goddamn community, and furthermore, we have nothing to offer. So my question is, if that's how you truly feel, then why would you come to a group of men that you believe are conquered and have nothing? And after all, y'all are doing so much better than us anyway, so why would you expect us to give you our hard-earned money? It just really makes no goddamn sense, but this is literally what we're dealing with. So, I'm leaving it on this image right here, because these are the groups of females that you see talking this stupid shit. Females, I mean, the description, the image alone speaks volumes. Can let you know that these bitches already have a low self-esteem. Look at the fucking contacts, to the fake hair. I mean, come on, man. Look at the pictures that are being posted here. Now, these are pictures that I got directly from her Instagram page. These are public, by the way. You can go right to her Instagram page and go ahead and take a look. Now, I'm not going to leave the link to that Instagram page because I'm not going to get my video flagged. But this is, I just want you to understand, let's just zoom in. Look at the eyes. Look at how they are literally, I mean, there's nothing there. I can see why they wear contacts. Let's go back to the first, there's nothing there. I mean, David Carroll was right. Rest in peace to the late David Carroll. Because, I mean, dealing with these divestors, these BW, I mean, you might as well classify them as a mental illness. This is what they are. And on top of that, showcasing the only thing they have of value. Once again, showcasing the only thing they have of value. Once again, showcasing the only thing they have of value. This is on Chris Logic's Instagram. Showcasing the only thing they have of value. showcasing the only thing they have of value. Now, what I did notice when I went to her Instagram page, I don't know if that's the only one that she has, but what I noticed is, as much as they love getting them some white guys, because the white guys are better than black men after all, I don't see not one white man. I don't see no man in any pictures with her. This is a common trend in what you're going to notice when it comes down to these delusional females. Just the fact that you would sit up in a picture like this and think this makes you of some high quality. And yet you could talk about how wonderful these other races of men are, but yet at the same time, you can't seem to get them. They want nothing to do with you other than a rumble underneath the sheets. This is essentially what you were dealing with. So what I ask now, when we look at the mindset, well, once again, let's just scroll through all this. Okay, the only thing they have of value, only thing she has of value, only thing she has of value. Look in the eyes. That's all I got to tell you. They're gone. They're lost. There's nothing there. The only thing they have of value. So I ask you, black men, when you look at this, I mean, first of all, when I look at something like this, I know good and damn well there's no way in hell I would ever find myself calling into a panel to debate somebody like this. It's just not happening. There's nothing there to debate. So when I find you Negroes on these panels, my question is why? Why would you find yourself attempting to debate with somebody like this? Now, this is just one of many. And as I've told y'all before, if you were to get rid of if the Cynthia G's and the big wigs, so to speak, guess what? You would have somebody else waiting to take their place. Somebody else waiting to take their place. So my question is, once we acknowledge that this is what we're dealing with, like I said, the only thing she has a value to offer, the only thing she has a value to offer, the only thing she has a value to offer, the only thing she has a value to offer. My question to y'all is, why would you find yourself on a panel looking to debate with somebody like this? I don't understand this. Why would you find yourself on a panel looking to debate with somebody like this? Let me stand up for a second because apparently I got eavesdroppers. Motherfucker, keep it moving. And I'm going to ask y'all one more time before I close out this video. Why would any of you black men call into the panel to debate with a female of this caliber, of this mindset, of this mental state? Why would you do it? Because that right there, I mean, I get it. We know that they are flat out fucking crazy. They're insane. And knowing this, then what does it say about you, black man, for wanting to engage their attention, for wanting to call into a panel, sending super chats to individuals like this so you can be able to have a voice on a panel that isn't yours? And with that being stated, I'm going to wrap this video up. And as I stated before, what's going to happen moving forward, the next couple upcoming productions, I'm going to deal with this mindset in its entirety, thoroughly breaking down what we are looking at, the kamikaze mind state known as the black female.